A new study on human psychology, a 9-year study reveals the lasting effects childhood trauma has on adult relationships. Obviously, that's a given. An ongoing study among more than 2,000 adults in the Netherlands found childhood maltreatment is associated with lower quality relationships later in life. I guess it's because they can't trust anybody. Now, past research has also found childhood abuse or neglect can lead to insecure attachment partners in adulthood, but the current study goes further and suggests that these issues arise primarily from severe depression associated with the childhood trauma. The large cohort has been tracked for nearly a decade already. In the first, second, fourth, and sixth years of the study, researchers assessed participants for depression and anxiety. In the fourth year, the presence of childhood maltreatment was also evaluated, and in the ninth year, the participants had the quality of the relationships assessed as well as their attachment styles. Slightly more than 3/4 of the group reported a history of depression or anxiety. Similar to previous findings, the authors found respondents with a history of maltreatment also had more severe depression and anxiety. These individuals also reported lower quality relationships and higher levels of insecure attachment, including anxious attachment, exemplified by extreme levels of intimacy with low levels of autonomy, and avoidant attachment, exemplified by high levels of autonomy and discomfort with intimacy. Researchers tested various pathways to figure out what all these factors might have to do with one another. When controlling for gender, age, and level of education, they found the relationship between maltreatment and poor quality intimate relationship was fully mediated by insecure attachment and depression severity. Please support my Patreon account since YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. The researchers modeled 6 different pathways to see how one leads to the other, and findings indicated 2 distinct pathways by which this insecure attachment can develop. The strongest pathway connects childhood maltreatment to increased depression severity, anxious attachment, and finally to lower quality relationships. The authors write, "This pathway indicates that some individuals who reported being maltreated during childhood may develop low mood and other depressive symptoms, become more dependent and unconfident, which may be perceived as clingier, and experience more distress in the relationship, which might subsequently affect the relationship quality." The second pathway links maltreatment to depression as well, but this time it is the avoidant attachment that leads to lower quality relationships. The final step occurs, the author says, because partners with avoidant attachment tend to reject intimacy and find it harder to trust and rely on others. Both of these pathways will need to be replicated in further research, especially if we want to know how and why each factor might lead to another. While the sample size in this research was quite large, some individuals with severe depression dropped out of the study, which means it might not be fully representative. And what's more, because childhood maltreatment was recalled from the past, it's hard to say if the memories reported are accurate. Nevertheless, the findings largely align with research showing childhood abuse or neglect can have lingering effects on a person's health and well-being later in life, health, and of course psychology. Now, the authors suggest informing parents, teachers, general practitioners, and the general public about the possible destructive impact of childhood maltreatment on mental well-being and intimate relations may lead to better recognition and earlier detection. This was published in Child Abuse and Neglect, and it's on Science Alert by Carly Casella. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support.